Hey everybody, this is the Nimiq update number 4, and this time with our special guest Artura. Maybe you have not seen him often because he's not often in front of the camera, but for Nimiq he's behind the camera. He's our, how you say that, our project YouTuber or vlogger. How would you actually describe yourself?
Yeah, I would just describe as just helping film the vlogs and I guess like the the video work for the project. So like all the videos for the YouTube channel, and then also occasionally some content for Instagram and Twitter, since it all kind of
Mhm.
is in the marketing and social media kind of space.
Uh-huh,
But
uh-huh,
yeah,
uh-huh.
glad to be on here today.
Nice, nice, nice. So how we do that usually, we talk a little bit about crypto, then we talk a little bit about Nimiq also, and also about our special guest.
Sounds good.
To get going, crypto space. I mean, what has happened really much recently, right?
I
What do you
mean,
think is noteworthy?
of course, Dogecoin, the kind of the really hot topic that everyone's talking about, and it's funny because people that I know who have never had any crypto or anything, and their first experience is getting Dogecoin, not even before Bitcoin or Ethereum, and they're getting Dogecoin. I'm like, come on, you gotta get like the main ones as well if you when you're first getting into it, just to get the whole experience, and yeah, just
Yeah, I
it
have a
just
friend of
came
mine
out
who
of
told me
nowhere.
exactly the same. Yeah, he said like, I've been last year. I've been telling them, you really want to invest something, please do it now. Don't put too much, whatever you just can spare. By the way, this is not financial advice. And just invest a little bit, do your dollar cost averaging, whatever, and then it's gonna be fine. And guess what? The year comes around, the crypto goes through the roof, and this guy never said anything, and now he sent him a message saying, "Do you know where I can buy Doge?" And you just feel like facepalm. It's like, yeah. So, what do you think about Dogecoin? I mean, what's your
I think it's funny because if I feel if you're in the crypto space for a good little while, and so personally, it's been a few years, and you kind of just think of Dogecoin, for the past while, that it's kind of just like this coin that's named after a meme, the dog, and the iconic dog, and that it's how real of a crypto is and everything, and it's kind of just like a joke. But then a lot of people who are like coming into it new, they just love it and really connect with it. They're like, the dog. I've seen people how like, oh, have you heard about Dogecoin? And maybe they heard about it, but they didn't see the logo, and they see it. They're like, it's a dog. I love that crypto. I want to get some of that. And it's
really?
just yeah.
So people will buy it just for the logo. Yeah, we just some quick research before, and I actually had no idea where the name is coming from, and it seems to come from the Doge meme, which is relating to bad English. So it seems to turn out that Doge comes from douche, which comes from douchebag. So it's douchebag coin. It means it's what for idiot. I'm not sure if we should say that, but this kind of thing, it's like it's a joke. The whole thing is a joke. It was never meant to be serious, and it just went.
Yeah, just really picked on after a while, and it's been around for a while, since
Yeah,
2013. So it's not like it just came out new. It's been around and
no.
just really catching on like crazy
Hmm.
majorly right now.
And from what I know, it's basically run by a guy or two, and they don't do any development, no source code changes, no improvements whatsoever. It's just a little doggy stamped on a cryptocurrency named Dogecoin, and you can buy that on the interwebs. I mean, if you compare it to all the major projects and the hundreds of people working their asses off to get that stuff nice, I'm skeptical. I'm really skeptical. I think it's this kind of thing that really ruins the reputation of the crypto space, to be honest. I mean, it's funny in a way on one hand, but if you think now it's moving to up to the third, maybe becoming the third biggest valued crypto in the space, I,
And it's almost there. It's crazy.
it's almost there today. No, it's moving so fast. Hey, okay,
And I know you can't blame people because they get into it. Maybe they bought a little bit of Bitcoin and they bought a little bit of Dogecoin just to get into it, and then they see and they're like, the value of my Dogecoin is so up. Like I should have just gone all in that, because if they're just looking at like the percentage that it's going up in their wallet. So I kind of understand how
Yeah, right.
someone who get into it, they are kind of favored, even if it's whether like how like good and how like stable the prices and everything is going to be in the long term. But
Mm.
yeah, for a while, when at first I at the beginning it was just like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and like the a few like the main cryptos and stuff, when I was first getting into it, introduced through Nimiq a few years back, which was my introduction
Mm.
to the crypto space. And then
Aha.
just a few days ago, I was like, everyone's talking about this Dogecoin. I don't want to like buy a bunch and hold because it's up so much, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna put a little bit into it, and just for fun, just to like just to like have
Yeah.
bought a little bit of Dogecoin. And then like the next day I like check it and it's up 20%, and I'm like, this is so like I was like, I
Okay.
thought it
You
was
put it.
already so up, and it just
Okay. You
for
put a
whatever.
stop loss right underneath it, and so 20% gains, whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, it
just
can't go up forever, right?
yeah.
It's because a lot of people that buy in now and they will hold on to it. The bubble will burst, it will drop down. I think I will make, I'm willing to make a prediction here. Pretty
Hmm.
confident about it because there's just nothing to back it, you know? There's no value, there's no use case, there's no adoption, there's nothing. So, you know, and this might fall back on his feet because if they then point back at him saying, hey, you recommended it, you mentioned this, I just kept tweeting Dogecoin. I didn't say nothing, no recommendation. People will, I think, point it at him. I think so. Meh.
Because right now, a lot of people who got in are up, so everyone's stoked. But if it were to go the
Yeah.
other way, then a bunch of people might
Everybody's happy
have
while it goes up,
different
right?
feelings about it. If they're no longer in the profit, and then like in the negative because of getting
Hmm.
into it. But it's hard to say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's part of the problem with the crypto space that there's just a huge amount of people that are in for the gains and not for the tech. I mean, yeah, just I guess that's a realistic situation that we have to adopt.
Yeah.
But I think looking at the value that you gain with certain cryptos over the long run, I strongly can see that tech and great ideas, use cases have paid off on the long. At least my feeling. Well, I think I mean the coins that are on top right now are the ones that are actually the most interesting, and others that are coming up. I could name a few, but maybe we just don't go into making any recommendations or anything. But I mean, there is some good coins out there. I wouldn't feel bad. Like I say, like Nimik is for sure trying to do good tech, but we're still like very low. Monero has done good things, and Dot is doing good things. Polkadot and Ethereum is doing crazy, great things. Cardano is trying to go along a little bit, and Bitcoin anyway. And I mean, Ethereum 2.0 and all those things. They're doing amazing technology. This is just it's very cool. I'm really happy to follow those things because I think like, wow, this is going to be like so much better. Anyway, we're going to see how it's going to play out. And I think but I mean, you know a little bit about all those things actually, because I know that you also do some YouTubing, some influencer kind of thing going on with Crypto's Jumpstart. I remember on some other channel. I would be curious a little bit to hear, maybe also the viewers are going to be curious to hear a little bit of your story. Like, where you're coming from? How did you get into all this YouTube? Where are you right now? What are you interested in?
So yeah, if you want me to, I could start from the beginning. Beginning, the I'm down. So the whole to how I got into YouTube was probably at this point around 7 8 6 7 years ago. Probably at this point, yeah,
Nice.
yeah, probably around there. And I just got into just filming some vlogs of just like surfing, exploring. I had knew nothing about crypto at the time, and it was
Surfing, I
just kind
can
of
see the
like,
surfboards in your back, right? You're still
ooh,
loving to do that,
yeah,
right?
oh yeah,
Beautiful.
for sure.
Okay.
So I started like that, just filming some vlogs, putting those up. Did that for a few years, and then the way I got introduced to Nimiq was I met some of the guys who were starting the project, and they were
Mhm.
kind of like coming up with the idea and thinking of it up at a just at a workspace here in the area. and I was going up there to use the internet to do a live stream for my YouTube channel,
Mm.
and then that's how I met the guys, linked
Uh-huh.
up, and then ended up filming a few videos, like a few vlogs of the project. Went over well, and then it's now been 3-4 years of working with Nimiq. The project has been going pretty well. The team has grown, and really cool to see how far it's come. And then that was also
That's
the
exciting.
introduction to crypto. Was that so learning about Nimiq starting, and then of course you learn about Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these other altcoins, and then went from there. And yeah, crypto definitely one of the best things to have found out about in my life so far. Glad to be a
And
part of it.
still fairly early. I mean, not exactly early, but still 2017. Yeah, I'm also like also when I started with Nimiq, I heard about crypto before, but I knew it existed, but I didn't pay any attention. I didn't understand the value of it until I really talked more with team members. I remember like mid in the end of 2016, I talked with a team member about like very early ideas, and then 2017 in summer, I helped a little bit around because things were getting really hot and they needed help with some software documentation. I remember so I hopped in for a month and forgot about it again. And then it was coming December, and it's like, okay, it's getting really serious. We need every help we can get. Are you available? I was like, I'm interested. Definitely. I read the white paper. I read it twice. I was like, okay, I mean the Bitcoin white paper at that time to just
Yeah.
understand crypto better, because we actually one of the first things was then to write a white paper also for Nimik, a proper one. That was actually cool, and I was hooked. Mm, very nice. Okay, and now you're doing the logs. You're doing. I mean, basically all video production is always going through you. This one as well, right? We're recording it now, and then later on
Hmm.
you're gonna put your magic on it. I heard from the community a lot of people were really excited about the last vlog, about
Yeah.
the introduction that you made with this kind of lake water kind of thing and the text going out. So how do you come up with that? Is it that a lot of work, or how did you learn actually to do all those things?
So, learning to do stuff like that is just kind of from over the years because, at first started was just filming on a really simple camera. Then over time, could save up and then upgrade my equipment. Of course, pretty much everything I've learned has just been, self-taught from YouTube, mostly from YouTube, and then of course a little bit of, articles and
Mhm.
research and different stuff, but a lot of it through YouTube. Never went to any school or like proper courses or anything. So it's just like, if it just goes to show when you're really interested in something, you can learn everything you need to know for the most part. Like the same with crypto, you get interested in it, you can learn everything you need to know online, just researching yourself. But not to get too carried
Oh.
away. So to get to like that was like over time, then being able to get my hands on a drone, get some like aerial
Mm.
shots. And at first with the drone, the footage is very basic. You just kind of go in a straight line, but then over time you start to try to combine different movements. So for that specific shot, I'm kind of like I was going at top speed, so maybe like I would say about 50 to 60 kilometers an hour,
Mm.
which was like
Oh,
a
that
pretty good
fast.
speed because I found that sometimes shots can look really cool when you're like going really fast past stuff instead of a little bit slower. So for that shot, I'm kind of like going top speed and then kind of turning the drone to the left and then also flying up and like adjusting the tilt of the camera. So that's stuff that if it was your first time flying, it would
Mm.
be a little complicated. But then you start with just flying forward and backwards, and then you add like doing another movement and stuff, and then over time you get the feel for it and can kind of get some smoother, more cinematic shots. So filming
Mm.
that shot was actually at just a river, probably about 40, just a good little drive down the coast, and just like a really nice river that connects into the ocean. Lighting was really nice.
Mm.
And then for like the tracking of the text, that was just done in After Effects. So you just track, you get like you do it all within there. You just track these points to everything, and then you add the text. And then like with anything, you just kind of got to play with it. You're adjusting the angle, and then adding some drop shadow to the text, and trying to get the angle of it so that it looks realistic somewhat, because you're trying to get it so that it looks like it's actually floating over the water, and then adding the reflection. That was something that I'd never done before, with adding, like a reflection of the text into the water, and then adding some effects so it kind of is like rippling and looks more realistic, to try to sell the whole
Yeah, yeah.
effect. So that took probably 3-4 hours to get that thing, just because
Oh yeah.
once you're done with it, it looks pretty simple, but like when you're doing it, you're like tweaking and playing with it, and you're like, no, that didn't work, got to start over, da 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 da, and then really nice once it comes together in the end.
Ah, I can imagine. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah. I mean, you're doing the post-production, so I could imagine it to be somewhere placed on top of this video. Let's see how that's going to work out. The
Yeah,
viewers will
yeah,
have already it by now.
I'll throw it in here for sure.
That's really great, really great. Okay. And then, I mean, if you do this kind of things, right? Especially also working with the team, or doing like kind of interviews with them. But usually you're in the recording, you're part of giving ideas also where to do it. What's your experience there working with all those kind of this bunch of nerds? And I think people also from different backgrounds. And I mean, you used to also be very young. I remember when I first met you, you were more like a teenager. Now you have grown like to a very strong man, and like all this change. I think it was quite, I must have been quite an experience. What did you take away from it, or how do you feel about all this? What's your experience from that?
Such a great kind of once in a lifetime, experience and opportunity to kind of have grown up with Nimiq since I was,
Funny
I'm not
thing
sure
to
how
hear
old I
that
was
somebody's
exactly,
saying.
but yeah, I think I was 15 or 16
Mm,
when I kind of got involved, and then now 19, so it's been a few years, but definitely learned a lot, and been able had the chance to kind of practice and learn new filming techniques, and then
mhm.
use some better gear through Nimiq, because that I wasn't using before. So,
Yeah.
and then just like a different style of filming, because before that I was always doing vlogs and just filming myself, going about doing stuff, but then to not be worried about what I'm doing in front of the camera, but I'm just focused on the filming part, was a solid experience.
Yeah, it's like the almost the opposite, right? So you used to be more into this kind of being in front of the camera, and then you were the guy. Yeah, it's something that I was sometimes wondering about, because you do this so professionally, and it's like, how it's going to feel for you to be in front of the camera. I was like, wait a minute. Ah, he does that all the time. He knows very well how to do that part, actually. Yeah. And with the drones, I had the nice opportunity once to watch over your shoulder when you did some recordings recently. And I mean, the technology has also come so far, right? I saw you have the controller, you plug in your phone as the screen connects, so you actually see through the eye of the drone while you fly. It's like the best toy ever. I mean, and it was incredible, right? It was stormy, and I think it was still was leaning in the wind, trying to keep up. But the picture, super ecstatic.
Yeah, it's really
Um,
impressive how far drones have come with, especially now they fold up into this compact little thing, and then yeah, they can be crazy wind and stuff, and they're just hovering perfectly, and then you could be doing these crazy movements, and with the gimbal, it's just like perfectly stable.
it's not your first one, right?
Yeah,
I
and
remember
then
there was
just
like some also fell into the sea and stuff like that. I
yeah.
think.
I had 2 drones fall into the water. It was because
Oh,
I
dude.
think one thing was because they were a cheaper brand, so it wasn't DJI, which is kind of like the overall, probably best standard right now. They're kind of dominating the
Right.
market. So it was another brand that was kind of a knockoff, but it was a bit cheaper, and it worked really good for a good while. But then it started to have some problems, had a malfunction, and the first one, it happened, and then I reached out to the company, and I was like, oh, this. I told them the story and what happened, and they were kind enough to send me another one, because I'd done a lot of videos and shown it on YouTube, and then of like a year later, the same thing happened with the other one. So, yeah. But I
Exactly.
got a
Wow.
lot of good use out of it before.
And I heard like $1,000 for the one that you're having now. It's not even crazy expensive, right?
No, the one right now is, I think it goes for 700 and something. So
Not even a
it's kind of
dime.
like, yeah, it's like a mid tier. It's not the highest, no, but not the
Mm.
lowest, cheapest. So it's pretty good, and I like it because it's very compact. So it's the Mavic
Mm.
Air 2. So
Mm.
that part of being able to pack it up in your bag really compactly and take it with you is, even if the quality's a little bit lower, it's worth it because you'll take it with you more.
Mm. It's a 4K though. I mean, I
Yeah.
see the. I
So
think the footage is brilliant.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm just as part of this update, I'm gonna give the viewers a little bit of an idea, switching a little bit now about where Nimiq is going, because I mean,
Sounds good.
also drones are very cool toys, but I have to take care of business also. And so 2.0 is been worked on a lot. I had the luck that I've been sitting together with Sebastian the other day, looking at the code, and I mean, he was pulling his hair a little bit. It's tough. I mean, he's trying to debug everything and he's trying to make it work. And every time he feels like, okay, I have to solve this bug, and then it should work. And then once you have the bug solved, you realize the next bug that you could have not seen before. And it's in a semi-live situation right now. So basically, he has one testing node on his machine, and then he has a virtual machine that runs several other nodes, simulating a network in a way. And so you have something is maybe you don't know about this, but it's also interesting. There's like something called race conditions and this kind of things, because all those nodes, they run independently, they run completely separately. So a fraction of a second, this one might start earlier, the next time it might start later because it was waiting for something on disk. You cannot know, right? And so maybe the problem that you're trying to understand happens only every 10th time that you boot this thing up. So it's super hard to even try to reproduce this problem. And then it's very hard to understand, okay, so is it because this one sent this information first or this one sent it afterwards, even to understand which parts of all these logs that you see from all those different nodes were in which order that have caused this kind of log that happens. Basically, the thing right now was in that particular situation always freezing. So it was not saying like arrow, it wasn't exploding, it wasn't dying, it was just stopping silently. And those are the most beautiful bugs to solve. So we chatted a bit about it, and he's working hard. He's you know, day and night in quotes, but and the team is trying to help. Pascal is hopping in as well, and everybody's having a look. Sergio and the from Costa Rica is trying to help with the network layer, and it's moving forward. It's just very intense work. So that's just a little update from that side. And right now,
Nice.
the soon think they're gonna meet up in Costa Rica again to work also more intensively. We might though, because the Corona situation is still a mess. So it could be that the team will be separated and not fully complete in Costa Rica, because it's not easy to travel from every part. And so I think we're gonna make good progress. You're also going to be around for the hackathon in Costa Rica, right? Do some recordings, and you already have
Yeah,
something prepared. Yeah,
definitely. That's
should
the
talk.
plan.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
Coming
I
up
think
soon.
the guys are they're gonna be there soon, and then you can start doing your recordings again and go around. I think you're gonna do some nice interviews with Richie there. Hmm.
Because yeah, that's a good portion of when like the video work it happens
Oh yeah.
is when the team is together, whether it's here or in Germany or in a place, and are able to get footage and interviews and updates and um, vlog footage and different stuff. And then, but it's cool that we're able to do stuff like this even when everyone's working remotely, and kind of get that same update feel vibe, especially if you have a guest on, like you guys have done with the
Mhm.
past few of these weekly updates.
Yeah. Nice that you also hopped on. Yeah, that was a great
For
idea,
sure.
because you always hide behind the camera in terms of Nimiq. Time to change this around a little bit. Cool. And okay, because like we have like one topic that we thought about that could be interesting to have a chat about, is because Nimiq 2.0 coming, guys are working hard, and we see the testnet will be not too far in the future.
Hmm.
There is this switch happening to proof of stake, and as you have Crypto Jumpstart and you do research in the crypto scene, and you do those recordings as well, and I of course have dived quite deeply into crypto since I'm working with Nimiq, and basically work with that material every day. Um, I've noticed that there's a very interesting discussion always going on. And I would say the crypto sphere is almost divided. Those people that say proof of stake is cool, it's the future, it's energy saving, it's going to be the thing. And then the other ones was like complete bullshit. It breaks security assumptions. It's not a real deal. There is no value generated with proof of stake because you stake coins and to basically raise the value of the coin itself, and that is like turns complete bullshit, and that will never work. Bitcoin maximalist sometimes. Uh, and this is standing like that. You can watch different YouTube channels, and the influencer or the YouTuber there is either on this side or on that side. I have not really seen many that say like, those are two different things. They both work more or less. Usually, it's very extreme. What's your perception on the topic? I mean, have you noticed this kind of complete dissonance and this kind of almost argument or fight going on there?
Yeah. So I feel, I can see how the argument for the proof of work, where it's, there's all this power and this, computational power being put in, to solve these mathematical equations and everything and all of that. But then I do kind of feel the part of, it's it's keeping, the blockchain secure, but it is using a lot of power. And, you hear stuff, well, it's using power that would have been wasted either way, or is it using power that wouldn't have been wasted and it would have been put to other stuff, or, all this stuff. And it's hard to know exactly what's, I'm sure it's maybe like a part of it is, a part of it isn't. And then there's the proof of stake, where you're just staking them out. And interesting is, what I've noticed is, whenever I introduce someone to crypto, maybe a friend or someone, and then they're on TikTok, let's say, and they see these, TikToks, they start getting recommended ones about crypto, and they'll see these ones about how horrible Bitcoin is because of all this power being used, and they like put it into like comparisons or into perspective of how much power that is, enough to run whatever this city and this crazy stuff. And they're like,
now
it's
we're up
horrible.
to countries. They switched from Switzerland. Now it's Netherlands, and it's going to be Italy soon. What they calculate. Yeah, I mean
it's
that's
crazy.
what I say. Entire countries.
And they're like, and then they see there's like these other cryptos where it's proof of stake, and they're like, well, these are better because it's not using all this power. So what I've noticed is, like, at least people similar age, their first thing is like, I don't really know if I like Bitcoin because of this proof of work and all this wasted power, and they're trying to do positive things for the environment and the world, and they're like, am I being a part of Bitcoin, am I kind of being a part of something that isn't the best?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of user experience, it's just unbeatable. I think so. I mean, if you have tried staking with Polkadot, for example, I mean, it is still far from end user friendly, because you have to use this Polka.js framework, and you have to know that you have to first create two accounts, one the controller account, one the staking account, and then you have to move into the right parts of the interface, and then you have to see with nominators. Like, for example, if you read the wiki, you will not find anything about staking. You have to look for nominator, because it's a nominator. It's like what do I know? Like, I've heard it's staking, but no, you have to nominate, and then you have to select from a huge list. You have to select which one you're gonna nominate, which of those nominators or validators. They have nominators and validators. I'm not 100% sure. And there's a huge list of names that just, what do I know? No score, nothing. Just they exist. And you go to some other websites, they give you some ideas, but then it's hard to link them together. So basically, you have to select a list there, and then you can select one, you can select many. I don't know what's the difference, really. So you just do whatever. I think actually we both agree that proof of stake is the future. That's what I feel. And I feel if Ethereum goes for it, and those guys have done a lot of research, and our guys also doing research in that direction, they all say like they can understand the math, they can do it, and they can totally say it's safe. It's safe enough to do this thing. And in terms of usability, I think it's so much better by definition. And if we put all the Nimiq usability on top of it, that it can run in the browser, that you can stake We're just clicking a few things, not like I described it before for Polkadot. I think we have a very usable system there that people can really participate easily.
Yeah, it's like it's just the part of getting people to move over it. Everyone who has all this mining stuff set up for proof of work, and being able to, convince everyone and move it over. That's probably one of the big challenges, especially for something like Bitcoin. If Bitcoin wanted to, there's so much proof of work stuff that it'd probably be.
Yeah. I think Bitcoin's never going to change. And honestly, I think it's okay. I mean, okay, environmentally, it's maybe a disaster and whatnot, but many things are, and maybe things can be improved there also. If it's not going to be the world currency anyway, because it's far too slow. Nobody expects it anyway. It's going to be maybe the gold standard, and that's okay. And maybe you don't need an infinite amount of mining on that, but in terms of that's going to be fine, right? But if other chains are switching over, the ones that have actually the heavy load, I think we're gonna find a balance that's going to be okay. I lost a bit my thread here. I wanted to say something more. That's okay. No, I mean there's 1,000 things one could say, right? But yeah, I mean it has a lot of upsides. I mean even for the ones that are simply interested, also in terms of investing. I mean while proof of work is does what it does, right? With proof of stake, you can actually have compound interest. You can actually get your coins that you hold to support the network to make more of those coins, which in my opinion is an argument by itself that proof of work will never have. And it's a cool feature.
I wonder just if with proof of stake, like, will it make more people want to just hold your crypto and stake it so that you can get more? Why would you want to spend it if you can stake it and then make more off of what you, and then it's like, do I want to spend it on transactions or to buy stuff, or do I want to just have it and just hold it? That's the only thing that I can think of. But
which is partially a good thing, because if you have like a cryptocurrency that is proof of stake, and you have this kind of utility token that has been staked, then the more it's staked, the less it is on the market, which increases scarcity, which is a good thing. Everybody who's holding a coin knows that that's a good thing. And the payment coin can be another coin, can be a stable coin, for example. I mean, also in our team, we have Bruno, who's doing the math. He's the brain there. He's doing research in stable coins and programmatic stable coins, and those things are all on the roadmap. This is going to happen this summer, to at least have a look at it. What are the technical possibilities? What has been happening so far? We have seen Ampleforth, for example, doing very interesting things. DAI has done, Maker has done amazing things with DAI, now with multi-collateral and all those. These things are incredible. But those are not necessarily one or the other. You can have both, right? You can have this one token that you stake that secures the network and that is volatile, which is is also a good thing. And you can have the other one that is much more stable, that is bound to $1 or that is bound to €1. I always have this crazy tree. Maybe it could be even bound to customer goods index, or how it's called, like this kind of thing where you basically say, like, according to how they evaluate inflation, by saying, okay, if you buy a package of coffee, some noodles, and this kind of thing and that kind of thing, and every month, and how much did that cost? That's how they actually calculate inflation, right? If it costs more next month, there was inflation. And maybe we could even link a stable coin to this kind of basket of products. Maybe on a global scale, I don't know. No, it's like, I think there's a lot of interesting research going on in that direction, and this is like, we're just in the beginning. I can
only say that.
I think. I don't know if it's technically feasible. That is not beyond my horizon. I already told Bruno he was a little bit like.
I just wonder about since across the world what different packages of stuff could be different.
Yeah.
But
of course, it maybe needs to be for each country or something. That's really. But it's good. I always like this idea that especially also in the team, I really enjoy this a lot. You can talk, you talk,
Yeah.
you share this idea, and then Bruno will look at it from the mathematical point or from the oracle point of view. And if it can't be done, it can't be done. Like, okay, totally fine. But it's nice to have at least mentioned it or say, could it be? Because linking it to a fiat currency that we are kind of knowing that this is not the best thing. It has the central authority and the value is not exactly fixed. So not sure if you really want that, right? So it's interesting to look at alternatives. And
Yeah.
what
Like
we're gonna do.
instead of it being based on the dollar or the euro, it's
Pack the gold. I mean, could be, right? I mean, whatever that, no? Or a bag of different natural materials. Maybe it could be gold, silver, and other things, other commodities. Could be. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think there's still a lot of to do and a lot of things to try. But what do you think? Is there any other final words? Otherwise, I think we're already running. We're running 45 minutes. It was really great to have you today here.
yeah.
Looking
Super
forward
glad.
to see more recordings that you're doing and more vlogs. I think people always really enjoy those. I think we're going to bring a few more of those on again. We have cut them short a little bit in the past because in the beginning we were doing it a lot, and then people said like, are you guys actually working? You're only eating sushi all the time. And it's the same thing like with Instagram, because people show the pictures when they smile. They don't show the picture when they are working hard or trying to figure things out. And it's a little bit of a balance, It's like, so when we stop doing that completely, people complain, it's a little boring, only this technical thing. So
We'll find a nice happy medium. Put some vlogs in there. Because the most recent vlog was vlog 69, and vlog 68, it had been quite a while because we kind of moved away from them. So I did.
Yeah, so it's back. And the feedback was very positive. So also thank you for doing that extra effort with that nice little after effect situation there. I think people appreciate that. So it's a nice playground also for you to try out some things. And we appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like one of those things where, all the vlogs, the text is just like stationary on the front. And, not every clip does it work perfectly to track the text to it. But that one, I was like, there's this nice water and I really like this clip and something like this could work. And
now I'm curious what you're going to do with this update recording. Now we keep those simple because it's an update and we want to keep the community updated about what's happening all about Nimik. Gonna do the next one in 2 weeks, Atua. Thank you very much for coming on this time. Let's see who's gonna come next time. It's always a little bit of a spontaneous decision, and cool. Then
cool
enjoy
to
the
see what other
hackathon.
guests come on and get to pick their brains.
Yes. There is a list. Of course. We have also a lot of team members still left that one by one we're gonna invite them over. Okay, maybe also gonna have you again sometime. Will be cool. Enjoyed it.
Sounds good.
Okay, Atua,
right.
Then have a good day. Bye.
Bye, everyone. that way.
Wait, that way?
Yeah.
Or that way?
That way.